Hey there everybody, Sarah with the Hobby Lobby Creative Studio here. Do you know what should be in your sewing basket? Well, I'm here today to tell you right after this. First of all, can we talk about how adorable this sewing basket is? And you can find this style and even more styles at your local Hobby Lobby store or on the website. And these baskets are especially great because they can hold a lot of items, plus they come with this little handy tray at the top here to hold a lot of smaller items that are harder to see. So after you find your favorite basket, how do you know what to put in it? Well, a basic sewing basket should house all of the things that you personally find the most helpful whenever you're working on all kinds of different sewing or needle arts projects. But maybe you're new to sewing and you're not quite sure what items would be beneficial to have in your basket. Well, overall, there are a few basic staples that should be in your basket all the time. So here are a few ideas. First, we need some items for our sewing machine. This bobbin case, for example, can house 25 bobbins. So right now we have virtually every color that we could possibly need in this case, plus it doesn't take up too much room in our basket. Then it's a great idea to have a few empty bobbins as well in case you want to wind some new colors onto these. And then spools of thread are always a good idea to have in your basket. You can find a container like this one that can house lots of spools of thread at the same time in lots of different colors, plus it doesn't take up too much room in your basket. Or if you want, you could just keep a few spools of thread in the colors that you most commonly use. So next we need a few things to help us when we're cutting our fabric or material. The first of these being a few pairs of scissors, and each pair of scissors serves a different purpose. So first of all, we have a pair of pinking shears. And pinking shears are the bulkier scissors that you see with the serrated edges. And these are used to cut fabrics that fray really easily because they actually help to prevent fraying. Next, we have just a pair of regular scissors, and these are used to cut anything but fabric. So having a pair of these will be really handy in your kit as well. And then we have a pair of high quality fabric scissors, and these are really important to have for cutting out only fabric. You never want to use these to cut out anything else but fabric or material because it will actually dull your blade over time. Then we have a rotary cutter, and this one is a smaller sized rotary cutter, but you could have a full size one if you'd like. This one's just great because it doesn't take up too much room in your basket. And these are used in conjunction with a cutting mat like the one on the table here. Cutting mats are made especially for use with the rotary cutter because they keep your tabletops nice and safe. So next we have a few items that we use whenever we're measuring. The first of these being a retractable measuring tape because it doesn't take up too much room in our basket and it's way easier to store than a loose tape measure. And now since I'm getting into some of my smaller items, I'm going to utilize my tray of my sewing basket now and start housing them in here. So next I have a clear ruler, and clear rulers are especially nice because they allow you to see the fabric underneath whenever you're measuring. Next I have a seam gauge, and a seam gauge will help you tremendously whenever you're working on a hem or a smaller sewing project. And this sliding part right here will help you easily measure across entire edges of your fabric so that you can create perfect seams. Now we need some items that will help us construct whatever project that we're working on. So the first of these is this handy little tomato pincushion. These have been around for a really long time because they just are really great at keeping your straight pins nice and neat and tidy in your basket. And the cute little pepper here on the side will help to sharpen your pins as well. And that brings me to my next point, straight pins. You can never have too many straight pins in your basket. They're really handy to have around. And these in particular are especially nice for beginners because they have this nice bright yellow ballpoint head on them, which makes them really easy to grab onto. And these are a little bit longer than a typical straight pin, which makes them great for working with thicker fabrics. It's nice to have a couple of items in your basket that can just help you out in general. The first of these being a seam ripper. And these little guys are invaluable when it comes to being able to rip out stitches that you made intentionally or accidentally with minimal damage to your fabric. Next, we have some needle threaders, and these are handy little gadgets to help you get thread through the eye of whatever needle you're using. So then we have a little pack of assorted needles here, and if you can keep them in this nice little disc, they're especially handy because you can just rotate the disc and put the opening next to whatever size needle that you need. And these are great for any hand stitching that you might need to do, quick little touch-ups. So these are, of course, really great to have in your kit as well. And the last thing that goes along with our assorted needles is a thimble, because if we do need to do any of those little hand stitching projects, we of course want to keep our fingers nice and safe. So now that our tray is loaded up, we can put it back in our sewing basket, and our basket is complete. Look at all that we were able to fit in this basket. And last but definitely not least, we suggest keeping a small memento in your basket that makes you smile and reminds you why you love to sew. So that's all for today, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I hope you got some additional ideas of what to add to your baskets if you already have them, or that you're inspired to go create your own basket for the very first time. Be sure to check out the printable for this tutorial that has the list of all the items that we talked about today, plus some additional tips. So we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.